What I'm whining about today. Hey dolls, welcome back to my channel. What I'm whining about today. Someone said I shouldn't say whining because that's negative, but usually it is. I decided to take you into another room that's chaotic. Okay, this is my office. There's stuff everywhere. The only thing I will say about the DJI is it gives you a wide view. So now you get to see all the chaos that is here. So there's packages. These are like empty bags. There's all kinds of stuff. This is all product and whatnot. So today, what I'm talking about is I remembered a conversation that I had with someone years ago. What triggered it is Nicholas being home from college. So Nicholas being home from college made me think of a time a coworker said many years ago. When I say many years ago, I'm talking about before Nicholas was born, many years ago. And my coworker was a Caucasian woman, and there's a point to that. This is not a racial issue. It's a difference in how races do things, I think. So please. So I remember we're working together, and she says that her baby he's turning 18, and she's like, I'm like, you guys gonna do anything? Oh, we're having like a little barbecue, and we're going to break his plate. I said, what does that mean? I don't know if that's like a Greek thing. So she said, no, we're going to break his plate. You got to go. I was shocked, to say the least. Flabbergasted, because what? So her family was a very strong military family. She and her husband had both been in the military, and she explained that in her family, when you turned 18, you had two options: a job or the military. Your plate was broken and you had to move out. I could not even think of such a thing. And it's very interesting to me because, like I said, this was over 20 years ago we had this conversation. So I'm wondering if the thought process would have changed by now, but also what it made me think about was myself and my children and the dynamics of how I never told them that they had to get out. That never came to my mind. So it went back to the thought, and the when she said, break your plate. And I was like, that's so interesting. And it might mean other different things to different people, but that's what she explained to me, that, you are an adult and you gotta go. And I was like, wow, I was really shocked by that, the thought of it. And I saw something the other day, and a woman said that sometimes you have to accept being the villain in your children's story. And let me just say this. I think that there are some people who have children, and there are some people that mother. Easy. Calm down. I am a mother. That is who I am in my soul, in my core. That doesn't take away anything from anyone. And I remember many years ago, there was an episode of Oprah that a woman was on there, and Oprah asked her, the basis of her being on the show was to talk about that her husband came first over her children, and people were pissed, freak off. And I understand that. And I understand the different dynamics and the different way relationships ebb and flow, where your children are concerned based on what's going on in your life. However, for me, when I met Eddie, who had no children, I explained to him, I have 3 children. And when I told him the ages, he was like, okay. And I was like, no, I have 3 children, 365 days, 24/7. Like, I talk to my children multiple times daily. My children are obsessed with me. That doesn't make the relationship. I remember I had a friend who had a daughter, and I would say to her, "Hey, how have you talked to Sally?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, not like in like a week or two." What? What are you saying? But everybody's different. Do you kick them out? Do you let them stay? What do you do? Like, how old is too old? Like, and I see a lot of things on social media with parents and kicking kids out and fighting and craziness. And I understand that there's different dynamics to a familiar relationship where maybe the person is an addict or combative or has other kinds of issues going on that makes it impossible for them to still live in your home. But I'm talking about a regular kid that goes to work or goes to college or both, and that you would kick them out. Looking at Nicholas now, which is so interesting to me, Nicholas is 19. I was 19 when I had my first child. The thought of him being somebody's father right now is absolutely insanity when 90% of the time he can't find matching socks and has asked me to Apple Pay him some form of currency. So, and to think of him having to pay rent somewhere in this economy, it's crazy. Also, we know I have 3 children. My oldest daughter, she moved out many years ago. She is now a wife, Mazel. But I remember when she decided that she wanted to move out, and she moved out a good few years ago, and she moved with a boyfriend. And I liked him. He was very pleasant. And this was a decision that they made together. They were going to move out. They got a beautiful apartment. And after a little bit, she realized that wasn't her forever person. And I'll never forget, she called and she said, I don't think it's working out. Come home. I don't need a speech. Let's go. And it goes to conversations that I've had with my daughter with friends of hers who have talked about moving in with someone and the situation is not good. And the mother's like, well, you better make it work. I understand a revolving door is not something that is going to be allowed in a lot of circumstances. And I do understand that. You're not going to leave and come back and leave and come back. That might be for some. My home has always been my safe place for myself and my children. So come home. I don't know. I just remember growing up in such a chaotic childhood that I wanted to make my home a haven. So, and I did that. And I did that for my children. I did that for other children. And so I'm interested in what your thought process is on your children and when it's time to go, or is there a time to go, or do they have to go? I know long gone are the days of going from your father's house to your husband's house. That's a different time. We don't do that anymore. You go out and live and explore. But when rents are at an all-time high and jobs are scarce and it's so expensive, like, do you kick them out? If your kid is just a regular kid, not bothering you, not stressing you out, doing what they're supposed to do, is there just like a time frame that the kid has to go? I'm just interested in to hear your thoughts on it, because I do know that some of the things that I thought would happen in life are different, because I did get a taste of living alone. And it's not bad. However, Nicholas goes back to school in August, but when school's over, he's a sophomore, so he has a few more years to go. But when school's over, if he says, I think I need to come home for a little bit, what do you tell your kid no? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes these thoughts come into my head and I just feel like I have to share them with you and bother you. And so now I'm bothering you. So the question is, let's talk in the comments. What are your thoughts about breaking your plate for your kid? Does your kid get to stay? Does your kid get to go? If your kid is being a productive part of society, do you say now it's time to get your own place? If your kid, if this is this kid, I know there's a myriad of things that could cause your feelings to be different, but just a regular kid doing regular things. When is it time to go? Also, I would like to say thank you for watching and hanging in there with me. I'm like all over the place, but if you saw my previous video, you saw that I got a little bit crazy. I got a little bit crazy after the wedding. I was like, what is my purpose? I'm kidding. But I did get a little crazy. I didn't know what to do with myself. But I'm back, baby. Okay. And what we're going to talk about next time is, it might be, it might, I don't know. Is it time to get back out there? I actually was offered the opportunity to be on a reality dating show. Stay tuned.